Hello, everyone. Um, to be honest, I'm going to say this. I'll change my screen in a second. But I haven't gone live for a while, so this is a bit of an honor for me, in one sense, because, well, basically, there's been a big thing going on at the moment surrounding one of my favorite shows. That is Stargate SG-1, well, Stargate in particular. And basically, around the world, everyone got the news that Stargate was, uh, well, basically not going to be getting renewed. It got cancelled. Actually, just give me one moment because I just realised my stream is got all the old titles on. So 1 second. Should have all the new ones. So bear with me. We don't want we don't want that going. 1 second. 1 second, people. One thing I do not want is the wrong stream information going out. So let's change all this because um, we are not we're not doing my RPG game, which I did on my last stream a long time ago. We're doing a uh, basically a stream in regards to something else that I'm doing at the moment. So all the titles should change in a moment, so apologies for this. Come on, change, change, change. It takes a little while. Um, so yeah, basically, um, Stargate. Stargate, like I say, is a American franchise show which ran for 10 years as SG1. It originally started as a movie, and the movie was a great hit, and it was it was what it was, and yeah, so the big producers behind the movie decided to basically turn it into a TV show. The TV show, like I said, SG1, it ran for many years, 10 years in particular, and then suddenly at season 8 of SG1, they decided to dial up the 8th chevron address, which led them to Atlantis in the Pegasus Galaxy. Um, and then from there, they then went on to produce another spin off after Atlantis was cancelled, which was Stargate Universe. And after Stargate Universe, um, well, the problem with Stargate Universe was the fact that it basically it well it, it basically just fizzled out. 2 years in the making, and yeah, it just fizzled out, and that was that. Then, some many years later, the franchise producers who were involved in the movie and the TV series SG1 decided to basically come up with a new series. And that new series actually got announced approximately 6 months ago. And after that, well, basically, the after that 6 months, it it's unfortunately been cancelled, and there is a big campaign going on at the moment called Save Stargate, and there's a lot of people involved, including a couple of pages that are currently ongoing. I've been going through the entire series called Gate World, and Gate World has specifically been following the Stargate franchise and has been basically updating on everything that's the Stargate. So yeah, and excuse the fact that obviously my background at the moment is looking like GTA. It's just one of my screen placements I had. Um, I didn't have anything Stargate related. So the reason why I'm streaming at the moment, other than the fact that I want to support the Save Stargate franchise, the whole petition, and there is a big massive petition going on. Millions of people are involved. There was a live stream only just literally in the last hour or two, where they were flying a plane with a banner over the actual studio over in America, which with Save Stargate banners all over it. And yeah, so the reason why I wanted to do this is because quite a few years ago, about 5 years ago, I started creating a game for with RPG Maker, similar to what I've been doing with another game I've just released called Red Shore Valley, which is available on Steam. It's about to go on sale, 20% discount. So if you do wanna go. Um, anyway, the the whole thing that I basically have started the stream for is because the game I've been producing and making at the moment is a Stargate game. Now the problem is obviously there's all the restrictions, and I've got to be careful, obviously, of what I actually release. Now, because of that fact, I'm not actually technically releasing it as such at this moment. I'm just making it for a bit of fun. It's my fun thing that I'm making. And I'm going to show you it because I've been working pretty hard recently on, um, well, basically the actual storyline, what it's about, and I'll give you a bit of a brief. So I'm gonna switch over. Let me just switch over to um, the actual game. So what you can see here is is basically the a very basic SGC, and I'm going to show you around because yeah, it is unfortunately like I say, RPG Maker. You're very restricted to what you can actually have, and I'm just going to move that out of the way so you can actually see under here. Let me just move the gate out of the way. So these are events that I'm going to show you in a minute what these events do, but I'll just move these out of the way for a second and move the main player out of the way. So that is the Stargate in the background, just here. It's a very crude version of the Stargate, and I am actually in the middle of producing a lot more better quality tiles for this. I'm going to show you a few of them in a moment. But basically, what this is it's an alternate reality game, and the character that I'm just moving back into position, he's actually the main character, um, and he is involved because at the moment we're actually on. This is the canon Earth version of Stargate SG-1, well, of the Stargate Command, and so you don't see much of this after this point, and it isn't. It is going to change a lot soon. So this is going to be staying the same, maybe with a few improved tile qualities and different cut tiles, because obviously these tiles here are just yellow and black, and it's not really ideal for obviously what the purposes of what we're doing. But yeah, so I'm going to be changing this shortly, and yeah, so what the idea is, and I'll just switch back over to the alternate reality. There is a disaster, and I'm going to actually show you it, hopefully, if it plays in a moment. Um, there's a alternate reality version of um, the the actual SGC. It's called the SGO, and basically it's ran completely different from canon. They only discovered their gate about 10 years before. They have only managed to find four Stargate addresses for anyone who knows anything about Stargate, um, which obviously gives them a bit disadvantage. So they don't know anything about what's out there. They've not really been out there themselves. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what lies ahead. But because of this, because of the fact that they're not out there like the canon version was, they aren't. They've had it's had an effect on the outside world because the outside world doesn't know about the Tory or the Earth, if you want to call it by its proper name, and that means basically the the whole situation now makes a big change. So the Gwald is Gold, whatever you want to call them. They're not interested in Earth. The defining event that took place in the movie where Ra was killed doesn't happen. So Ra's still alive in this reality. He's left Abydos. Abydos is one of the planets that the actual new SGO have actually been able to dial to. And yeah, so the whole dynamic of the game or the reality is different because they didn't do the defining event that they did in the movie. They didn't do basically all the stuff that happened in SG1. They found their gate 10 years ago and they've only just started the program, and it's not run by the military as such. The military are there because obviously they need to have good people that are actually going to be able to go out and shoot these bad guys or whatever they find. But the whole program is run by civilians. So in the game that I'm producing, when the main character ends up on this alternate reality, he's like, well, where's SG1 and you know Teal'c and O'Neill, whatever, and the guard turns around to him and says, I don't know any of them civilians, and he's like, did you just say civilians? It's like, whoa, hang on, what's happened here? Obviously, then he finds out that he's in an alternate reality, um, and he's got prior knowledge of what's out there, but there are a lot of things that are different. Like, for example, for anyone who's watched season 9 and 10 of Stargate SG1, you'll know that the Ori are big enemies in them 2 seasons. Uh, the Ori don't exist. They never come across them. They've never existed. They haven't encountered them. They probably exist probably in their galaxy, but they didn't they throw themselves onto the Milky Way galaxy like they do in SG1. And again, the other difference is the Destiny ship. That is not in a faraway galaxy. It has been to a faraway galaxy, but its course caused it to come back to Earth because of something that happened out there, which you later find out what that was in the game, sort of anyway. Um, but because, like I say, so because of that, the Destiny is somewhere lost in the Milky Way, um, and yeah, so it's because of that fact the you just don't the whole concept of canon at Stargate is thrown out the window. Like I say, the Ori don't exist. The Wraith in the Pegasus galaxy, they're gone. The whole galaxy is covered in replicators, but the human form ones, but they're not hostile, not at least not at first anyway. Um, and the other big change will be the fact that there is actually another new enemy that you get to meet towards the end of the game, but this is the reason why Destiny came back to the Milky Way, and it's just been sat there unfound until you do find it in the game. But when you when you when you see these enemies, obviously you don't see them until later on in the game, but there's big clues after you discover Destiny. Um, so yeah, I mean that's the general concept. So I wanted to basically just give people an idea of what this game was about, and try and obviously you know make people realize that there are dedicated fans out there that are still wanting to produce um, you know a good series, and people like myself who are creating things like this. I mean, there's loads of things out there. I mean, I've just been speaking to someone on Discord who is a big Stargate fan like myself, and he's created loads of things. He runs his own website forum, and yeah, it's a big fan base out there. So I'm gonna try to show you now. Just bear with me because this may be quite loud. Um, Let me just turn this down on my end. So, do I want to save changes? No. You will be able to what I'm going to do. We're going to try to. For some reason it's not working, so apologies. Yeah, that's going really loud. Let me just turn this down. Okay, so you'll be able to hear me a lot better now. Let's turn that back up a little bit. I'm hoping that's not too loud, so apologies if it is for anyone who's watching this a little bit later on. So let me just try and get this on screen because I want you to see it. That would be ideal. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see. Don't want this word. Close this word there. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I do apologise. Let me just try and see if I can open up the capture window. This is the window. Ah, is it this one? Oh, it's not letting me. Yeah, and the worst part is it's not. Bear with me 1 second, I do apologise. Tell you what, let me just close that because the music's going to do people's head in. Okay. Let's have a look. Probably should have done this a lot, probably a lot better, in the sense that I should have been a bit more prepared. Yeah, so now this is going to be probably the only thing I can do. Um, you can't see what I can see at the moment, so okay, let me bring this back up again. No, don't save changes. Okay, so I'm just going to switch over. So excuse me for a moment. You just see all my OBS. Okay, so hopefully you should be able to see this. So this is the main um, screen of the menu, well, basically the menu. I'm just going to make sure you can see what I can see, so just bear with me a minute. Yeah, okay. So yeah, if we go into the new game, you'll see the startup. So you'll see there's a lot of animation involved. This is all pre-programmed, by the way. Now everything like this, all this is going to change, by the way, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have separate rooms. So obviously the control room, the gate room, things like that, it's all going to change. And what you're seeing is the original concept that I've got for the game. Now here's a nice part. This is the dial-in sequence. Now this is the thing that I'm actually most disappointed about. Um, because on the dial-in sequence there is no um, well, you'll see in a moment. There's something missing when the wormhole starts. So yeah, like, as you can see there, the wormhole just appears out of nowhere. It's like no whoosh or nothing. So if any of you are reading along, you'll see that this is the evacuation. And this is where our player gets sent. You are the blue hair guy, by the way. As you know, as you do, you just walk casually to the gate. I am going to change that. He's supposed to be running. Now, this is where you first start seeing there's something different, something wrong. This is this is basically where now, as you know, usually wormholes are blue. There was an episode, well, there was a film to DVD, um, which was Stargate Continuum, and that changed from blue to purple as the timelines were changed. In this one, the red is an alternate reality. So there's a specific color for each different thing. So it's not time travel or timelines changing like it was in Continuum. This is completely going to a different reality. And as you can see, so first of all, he's now talking. He's like, this is the SGC. He's like, no, this is the SGO. And he asks, obviously, where the team are. He's like, I don't know them, civilian. So this is obviously your first inkling that something's different. So here we are. We're actually in level 27. Um, this character's just had a few intense days of questioning, people not believing him, which, again, this is all going to change. Um, People not like sort of believing that he's actually, from an alternate reality. So if I just take us, you can see before I go anywhere, you've got the ready room, you've got the stairs going down to the control room, and just in this room here, you can see obviously it overlooks the gate, which you can't see from there, but you will see in a second when I go and speak to the commander, which is in the same room as General O'Neill and all the other people who have been the leader of the base. So here you are, welcome to Stargate Command. Now again, obviously, he says Stargate Command, but that needs to be changed. Um, you get to name your character. I'm going to go ahead and name what I always name everything in these test runs. I'm going to call myself Tech because that's the name of the actual channel, Tech the World. So yeah, here you can see that obviously he's talking and he's like saying about the fact that it's been a nightmare and you know it's obviously we need to do this because we need to find out what's going on, where you're from. So it's basically he then mentions something from the series where you can say without a doubt that there is cross dimension, and he references the SG-1 incident where SG-1 in season 9, an alternate SG-1 arrived at the base ahead of their normal scheduled arrival time, and then at the correct time, the real SG-1 arrived, and that whole palaver with to do with the fact that they were just after the ZPM. Sorry, spoilers if anyone's not watched season 9. So, by the way, your character does not get to be the leader of SGO1 because that's all going to change. The whole concept. This was the original introduction to the game. Obviously, this has all changed since I've done a lot more planning. Um, and yeah, he basically now shows you the gate, which, as you can see, it scrolls up to basically show you the Stargate room. Well, the embarkation room, as it was known in the series. Um, so at this point, obviously, you still haven't got into your head about the fact that you are in an alternate reality. But you can see the similarities in terms of the actual name of things, the actual concept of what it is that they do here. So it gives you a little brief of how to get around. Um, you walk up these stairs. It tells you can't go there because it's not accessible yet. But what you can do is you can either go down these stairs, which aren't there in the image, but they will be, or you can go down these stairs. And once you get to here, it automatically takes you down. So here we are in the control room. In the control room, I'll just show you around. So you can go into here, you can go to the gate. You can't go up the stairs. You can't go through there. What you can do is you can actually walk up and go through the gate. And as you can see, it is layered so that you can go under the gate. It gives you that 3D perspective. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is we got instructed to go and speak to the chief gate engineer. He's the guy that's walking around here, so let's speak to him. Are you the gate technician? Yes, I'm the base. Did the base commander send you to see me? Yes, he did. Blah blah. Learn the basics of the actual SGC, well SGO in this reality. And yeah, that'll be me. Blah 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 blah. Now he's going to get you to go and do some tasks. The first task is to go and get a set of circuits for the gate technician. Storage of the circuits is located on this level. Return to the technician once found. Now there's going to be a bit more detail in that because I think it's a bit, you can be anywhere. It can be any of them storage rooms down there. It's actually up here. Again, these may change location. And you just walk up to these boxes, nothing found, but you walk up to this one. Oh, look, we found them. Go back to the gate technician. And as you can see, just before we do go back, you can see the actual whole thing goes right round. So yeah, that's a good, a thing. Now, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go across the top of that corridor because I'm going to show you why in a moment. So yeah, you found the circuits, blah 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 blah. Now level 26 is unlocked. Okay, So what do you want me to do? Okay, do I need to speak to you again? Yes. Okay. He needs his access card from his locker. The player's not very happy about the fact that, giving them the runaround. No, I need it to access the system to show you how to use it. Okay, so that's fine. Will you show me? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Take the elevator to the east. You'll have to go through a few corridors, but sure you'll find it. Let's go to floor 26 and find his locker. So we take this lift. This is the only lift that's active at the moment. You come to here, you pick a level. We need to go to level 26. And there we go. We're at level 26. And as you can see, there's loads of corridors, and all these will be populated and filled in as the game is more developed. But we're going to the locker room, which you would have seen as you were on the other side of the corridor there. So here we go. We are in the locker room, and we don't want to go into the ladies' locker room. So we'll go into this first locker. Oh, locker is locked. This one is empty. We'll go to this M1. That one is empty. So that only leaves this one. We found the card. I'm only giving you this briefing because things will change when the game develops, so it won't necessarily be like this. Later on, when it is developed, down here where these areas are, these will be like crew quarters, well, civilian quarters, because obviously it's a civilian-run thing. And like I said, for anyone who is in and out the stream at the moment, because I noticed there are a few people joining the stream, not as many as I would have liked, but for those that are actually coming in and out, yes, save Stargate. This is a Stargate game that I'm producing. I'm just trying to obviously support the whole Save Stargate campaign that's going on to try and get the series in. So before I go on with the next task, there's one more task before I actually do it. There's a reason why I'm not walking at the top of the corridor, and it's because there's actually an event here. So as I showed you before, I moved all the events off the gate so I can show you the gate. But there's an event here, right where I'm about to walk now, that was for some testing for later game development, and you'll see what it is. It's not the right colour, so because obviously when I originally developed this game, it was developed in MV, and I'd already changed it all so that basically the colours and everything for what you're about to see now were correct. But unfortunately, I've now moved to MZ, which is the latest version of RPG Maker, because that's what this is. And yeah, so it's not the right colour, so apologies. Here it is. You'll probably recognise what that is. And it hasn't got the proper sound effects either. So it's actually supposed to be the Asgard beam, but when that gets developed later on, again, I will be able to show you that. So here we go. Yes, I am. Okay, because blah blah blah. Right. So one final thing. Okay, you kidding me? This place is crazy. Needs a pen and paper. Tells them where it is. It's behind the storeroom, behind the lift. So we're gonna go there. I'm just gonna quickly go there. You won't be able to walk this fast in the actual game. Here's this one. That's the one. Okay, now we go back. Now, this is the big part, because this is where the first big event happens as soon as I talk to him, so I'm just going to wait a second. Yeah, so basically, you won't be able to walk that fast. I can also do this because it's actually from the game. You won't be able to do that. I'm pressing a key at the same time to do that. Okay, let's talk to him, find out what happens. Fantastic, you've got something to make notes with. Come see me when you're ready to get started. But before that happens, this happens. So the alarms have gone off, and there's an incoming wormhole. And because it's being dialed from a DHD, it's not as slow when this happens. So two dial-in sequence type events there you've seen. One from the Earthbound dial-in program. This is from a DHD dialed planet. So you can see here that there's a bit of ruckus because the fact that they don't trust this guy. Um, he's asked why they're back early. Don't have to answer to you because he's not from this planet, well, this reality. Um, it does say he is the leader of SGO1, but he won't be. That will change to something like um, Riley. This is our. Oh, don't be so rude. This is the guy who's got some information um, on our future. Blah blah blah, or something like that. Apologies, we were attacked. I managed to hide and report back, but the rest of the team are dead or missing. What about Dr. Paxton? Dr. Paxton was similar to what Daniel Jackson is. Um, and no, there's no continuity of why his surname is Paxton Jackson. It's not like that at all. It was just the first name I could actually think of when I originally made this. Whereas Dr. Paxton also missing, but not because of the ambush. So what's happened here is, as you're about to find out, is he wandered off to a building west of the pyramid. Now, anyone who's a Stargate fan will know what it is that he's found. And as he says here, he believes it's a hall of some sort which will help obtaining new gate addresses. And of course, our player, who's from the canon reality, says, "Oh yeah, I know which one it is." He's right; it does contain a way of getting more addresses. And then the gate says, "Wait, so you're telling me the gate goes more than one location?" It's like, yeah, I thought you already knew this. He said, "Well, yeah, I'm just messing with you. We knew it went to at least four locations." And then obviously our player is turn around and say, "Well, actually, it's a lot more than that. I'm sure we mapped about 1,000 gates in the galaxy alone." And they're actually, "Are you kidding me?" So then this this is basically the end of the play. What you're about to see is sort of like a brief introduction of what's to come. So this is the briefing room. This is the mission to Abydos to rescue Dr. Paxton. Be the first trip through the gates. The mission is to proceed to Abydos and find the missing Dr. Paxton. Is he dead or alive? Um, and the mission briefing will finish, and you will end up going to. It will finish in a moment. There we go. You will end up going to um, go and look for him on Abydos. So here we are. This is the end of play. So there's nothing you can do here. But what you can do now, that's because obviously there was a bit of code that was missing. Is you can go onto the dialing computer and you can dial Abydos. Now what I'm going to do is just quickly run through and go through the gate. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, for some reason my code's a little bit wrong. It got messed up while it was transferring over to MZ. There we go. Oh, yeah. So a bit of a delayed reaction there. So it did go through the gate. So where we're going is we're going to Abydos. Now I'm going to show you Abydos because it's a nice place to obviously to see. So here it is. This is inside the pyramid. Again, this will all change because in the actual series, as you will know, the pyramid had an extra bit. When we go down here, this is actually apparently the exit. And here we are. And we've got some music that's actually from the series. Whether you can hear that or not, I don't know. But we'll go back in. And this works exactly like a normal DHD. But again, the coding is a little bit wrong. You can't actually see the actual wormhole there. Let's now. Why isn't that? Okay, so it must be the code anyway. But I want to show you this little thing. So you'll notice right here where the character is. There's actually a ring platform. Now, what happens is it just flashed there. It won't do that in the actual game, but there'll be a distinctive mark on the floor which will show you where to stand for the ring platform, and it will not do the rings until you step into the location. And right above, in the actual game as well, right above where the pyramid is a Hatak vessel. This is the Hatak vessel. These are gold. They're not very active gold, but never mind. Um, now, is the no? So there's supposed to be a secret lever here, but never mind. And you can see here, this is the current walls for the Hatak vessel. These are the top of the walls so that you can distinctly see between the floor and the walls. But I'm actually changing all that. The tiles and everything are completely different. Um, so yeah, it's a lot of this is going to change. So that's basically it. I can't actually go back to the SGC because for some reason the dial program is not working. I do have to fix that, but I will show you obviously me going back down to the pyramid. There we go. So I'm just going to quickly show you one other thing. I'm just going to quickly switch back to the original screen. So, oh, now we have a couple of other locations. We got the Destiny, and as you will see there, it has the Destiny Stargate. We have Atlantis, the lower floor. Let me just zoom out a bit. The lower floor. So this is an area around the back of where the gate is. And then you've got the upper floor, um, which is Weir's room, control area. Again, these all change. And all you do is when you walk on these, it'll automatically transition you to the floor, the second, like the lower floor. And the gate works the same way. You can see all the programming behind it. This will all change because I'm going to try and tidy everything up so that the events on the gate aren't as bad. Then you've got the Furling Forest. Now, this again is something totally different from the original series. The series never had the Furlings, but I'm going to introduce them. So you'll eventually get to meet them. This is just my placeholder for my events database. Um, and then I've got my demo maps. Now, my demo maps are completely different from the what I've already shown you. This enables you to dial all the other locations, Atlantis, Destiny. When you go to Abydos, inside the gold ship, as you can see, the floor was completely different. There is completely different designs. This was in the original game demo, which is available on itch.io, by the way. Just search Stargate Undiscovered Universe if you want to have a go with this. But this handle here, basically, once you switch it, it's well, it won't at the moment because the MV version doesn't do it, and I haven't done all this. But when you switched it, it enabled you to go to Destiny, and you would have been able to go to the Destiny gate room, which is obviously here. Other than that, that is all that I can show you at the moment. But I am actually quite pleased with um, what we've achieved. So if you are interested in finding out more or you want to play the actual demo, then please by all means do. It is available on itch.io. And yeah, so I think that's going to be everything. Anyone who joined us, thank you very much for watching, and I will say good night and see you another time. Thank you very much.